to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Complexities turn to ban. Dire team pick.
Beastmaster.
Complexities turn to pick.
Okay, we are back apparently, very, very quickly back as well. You probably have seen the timer didn't run down and it caught all of us by surprise. It even caught my chocolate cake by surprise, but it doesn't matter. We're into our final game of the day because Complexity and no Diggity are taking no prisoners and they're heading straight into the draft. So we are back with the panel just very quickly, back with Cap, with Gods, and back with Shiva. Welcome back to all of you. All good? All happy?
Yeah.
Enjoy that last
You didn't
game?
need that extra chocolate cake.
It saved me, right?
Yeah.
Save the stomach
We're all
line.
looking out for you. Even
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that means
That's
one,
why the game started early.
one less hour in the gym for me this week, so that's all
one
good.
less artery that gets clogged, you know? We're trying to keep you around. You're a treasure.
Okay,
you know?
you're trying to keep me alive a little bit longer. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Nice thoughts. So as I said, we are going to go straight into the draft, and already we've had a little bit of a change up here from Complexity, a little bit of disruptor in the house.
I really like that.
5 seconds remaining.
I really like that, but I don't know exactly why. Why prioritize that right now rather than picking
Well, it's
it
position
third?
2 for Complexity. It's where they put their pocket strap pick, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do from now on. They're
that's
just going to put
true.
something different in
That's
position
true.
2
It
of the
could
draft
be.
every round.
I'm down, Paul. Let's do it. Thunderstrike stats.
No,
Let's go.
Mid disruptor.
Normally you want to pick up Disruptor with the type of vision hero, which I think is part of the reason why No Diggity might prioritize that slaughter right now. Because where are you going to get your vision from to glimpse people back, for example?
Reserve time.
I mean, it's also an aggressive hero, and Disruptor is not a very good defensive style hero. He wants to be with a team that is forcing fights, and then you're able to just get that extra pick off because you're able to run at people. In that way, Doom does kind of synergize with the Disruptor, but I think that No Diggity are responding pretty well here. I think the Beastmaster first pick is great, and then Slardar is just a pretty favorable hero right now that, as we said, gets aggressive.
One of the reasons also why Disruptor could be picked up this early is because this is, I think, the first time that we see a team not betting Enigma against No Diggity, and Disruptor has like 2 abilities that can cancel Enigma's Black Hole. So therefore already preemptively countering a Yaps or a Black Hole
10 seconds remaining.
if they wanted to.
Gods, what do you make of this so far?
I don't think we're seeing anything crazy. I look at these like opening picks and think pretty standard. Even the disruptor, yeah, it's something we haven't seen all too much of, but it's just a standard kind of pick one core plus a support. Or the Doom is kind of that flexible pick, which can be a support jungler or the offlane. So I think it's just not really revealing too much about what Complexity are going to do. Other than that, they want to have some early game aggression potential.
Something that is different from previous series. The previous series, 3 games, Complexity was Dire. All 3 games. They chose Dire whenever they had the chance. This time they're on the Radiant side. But if they chose Radiant, which we don't actually know, if they chose Radiant, their pocket strat, if they have something like that, might be revolving out around some dominant lanes.
It could be No Diggity are also potentially prioritizing a side rather than in order to throw something off and then Complexity respawn in turn. The bans are kind of interesting. We're going to see the ban. You already have your most likely your support from Complexity, so they ban away the Bane, who's just a really annoying like zoning hero, probably one of the better heroes in the game. Alchemist as well. We've seen the success of him, but the Broodmother ban is kind of the one that shows up a little bit more in the draft. It's just kind of like one of those 3-4 that you want to make sure that you don't get cheesed by coL.
It reminded me a lot of like we're seeing like Drow Ranger bans as 3rd, 4th. Like it's just take away those options which can just come out of nowhere and completely catch you by surprise.
And spends a suitable counter as well to Slardar with the big damage or armor increase. It makes both the minus armor and the physical damage of Slardar way less threatening. So.
Reserve time.
All right, time for Complexity to reveal a bit more about what they want to do now with this.
Oh, to build
3rd,
on
4th pick.
the disruptor thing. Remember back in Nib, Hanskin was like the disruptor.
Yes.
I forgot about that. He was the glove that catches all. No one escapes the glove, man.
There it
Actually,
is.
they go for the Enigma themselves.
So
So Z-Freak Enigma, the Hanskin Disruptor.
Now that if you're on no Diggity side, it kind of gives you more insight in how greedy you actually can be in your draft. How do you think they're gonna deal with that? Are they gonna go for like, is this a Yopps or Mirana?
I think
Because of that, yeah.
that in turn you pick up a 4 position that is able to roam around the map. You know that like the way no Diggity run the Enigma and most teams will, it's like the concept of just being able to outgreed the opponent, right? So against certain teams you want to be able to outgreed them. Other teams you want to try and be aggressive against them and close off the map. No Diggity's standard play is usually to outgreed their opponents. So in return, no Diggity are going to see that and they're going to try and play pretty aggressive. They're going to try and invade Radiant Jungle very early on, take away that safe lane tower. They can get the mid tier 1 pretty quickly as well. That would be a big bonus.
I wonder if they're thinking to go back for the Tinker again. It's not quite maybe as aggressive early on and doesn't push quite as well, but it's that comfort pick which synergizes really well with the Beastmaster. Perhaps not the best against like the catch of Disruptor and Puck.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. You've got 2 silences and then Doom. Doom. So I think it's dangerous, but then again, they ran it against the Fnatic
Puck Lifestealer combo.
Yeah.
so.
I mean, whatever you pick, it's going to be susceptible to the Doom, the Puck gank, so...
There is a ton of team fight on the side of Complexity right now.
Yeah, normally it's no Diggity who have the superior team fight when you look at their drafts. Void, Enigmas, and all that.
If you're no Diggity right now, there's not, I can't think of 2 heroes that could make up for the lack of team fight they have, so would you rather focus on getting pick-off heroes? In this
Focus
case?
on taking Roche, taking objectives, get auras, Venge, Beastmaster. Just getting and having a really strong early game start, something that Cap was talking about, which is just playing a bit more aggressive to punish the fact that there is going to be an Enigma in the jungle.
What's the chances here of having Kazu play Slardar, Koikfa Beastmaster, and them still picking up a Drow Ranger? Is that too far-fetched?
I think that's pretty unlikely, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Era is almost certainly the Slider. Okay, they'll ban the Tinker. There's still a chance that it's a Koikfa mid Mirana. Mirana does okay, pretty well against Puck. It's like at least an even matchup where you trade farm, depending on what kind of a mid laner they want to have.
Yeah, if they throw us a curveball, if anything, it would be, I think, no Diggity rotating the Beastmaster into the 4 position. That's something that Yapsor did before a long time ago, but it's not something that no Diggity do a whole lot currently. It's much more likely that if they're going to try to greed you, it's now the Night Stalker, which they've kind of shown in this tournament, the early Iron Talon, the way they're going to play that one. But Gods is right, they still put a ban on the Tinker, just in case.
I think it's, as far as Koikfa's heroes go, one of his scarier ones to deal with, especially when you haven't been versing Tinker much. It's only just kind of re-emerging in this new patch. Like, you've been versing Invoker for the last 6 months. It's like, well, and it's also just doesn't seem as strong. It seems very vulnerable to just pressure in general in the mid game, whereas Tinker, unless you can guarantee you get on top of him, causes problems.
I mean, if you're still going to run an intelligence mid-core type carry hero that has issues with heroes like Doom and Disruptor.
Yeah.
Do you think about the Invoker? Because if you think about it, if you go an Exort Invoker, then you've got 4 spirits alongside the Vengeful Spirit, Beastmaster Aura. They would have insane Roche taking potential.
And you have a lot of lockdown to set up for Sunstrikes as well.
Uh-huh.
No,
Shadow
Fiend
Fiend.
is-
Yeah.
Complexity
Throwback to their
scientific.
first series of today.
Mhm. Worked out then. More minus armor as well.
And they want to get this, they want to just have all these auras and these abilities just to kind of make their hero strong enough that it doesn't matter that they've got this inferior team fight. Because Shadow Fiend on the front lines and a Slardar who get far enough ahead, like you'll have an Armlet plus Blink on Slardar, SF will have his BKB, SMY. These heroes, if they get tanky enough, don't really care about the fact that the opponents have Static Storm, Black Hole, Dream Coil as a big team fight wombo combo.
And they can take abuse of the fact that he is fairly greedy right now, so they will have a lot of space during the early game to make those rotations and to get the lanes going their way, which will put them ahead.
They didn't really have an Aegis hero as well before. Like if you want to talk about that, the idea of having a Roshan-esque strategy on Dire side, it's important to actually have an Aegis hero, and SF is definitely one of those, just because he's such a heavy right clicker that it still has pretty good stats with the way you build him. So this gives them like some pretty decent high ground potential. Like the routine Aegises that are going to be falling into their hands will allow them to broach high ground multiple times. So I really like the way that No Diggity built this up. Complexity now.
What core?
Yeah, what is the carry choice?
I mean, Spectre seems
There is not.
decent-ish.
Was it Spectre you said?
Spectre, but they go for the drone
Wow.
themselves. I was not expecting that.
Wow. When you
Well,
know
that kind of turns things around completely, because they go from having this kind of team fight centric lineup to suddenly being much more about their kind of early to mid game timing.
Mhm.
They want to kind of meet No Diggity when they're going to be strong.
Yeah, they want to make sure that the Puck can win the matchup now against the SF even harder, because now you've got the Draw Ranger aura, so they need to try and pressure that. They're going to be trying to take those towers nice and early and also secure Roshan away from No Diggity. I still like No Diggity's lineup a bit more. I think the SF was actually their best last pick,
Okay.
but
I would favor complexity purely because I think that No Diggity is going to get triggered into team fighting, because that's what they normally do, and they have a tendency to fall into the same pattern. And in terms of team fighting, complexity is just ahead in terms of draft.
God's final word from you?
I think the Draw Ranger was a bit forced. They wanted to really trying to pull something out that's going to kind of save the lane. So I'm thinking slightly No Diggity favored here in game 1.
Interesting. Split decisions here on the panel. We like a bit of that. It's nice and feisty. And we'll find out what the casters think as well as we head over to the commentary desk for our final series of the day. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Red Eye. I'm Gareth. Joining me is Purge, and we are here for, well, maybe one of No Diggity's most important series of the year so far. This best of 3, if they win it, they get through to the main tournament, but complexity stand in their way. Now, looking at the draft, Purge, who do you favor? We've heard the panel.
I have a hard time looking at team composition because I just look at all of the auras that stack on No Diggity's lineup. They've got Beastmaster aura, they've got Venge aura, and they have the SF aura to lower their opponent's armor. So that's like 3 things amplifying damage. And on top of that, if they amplify damage on the target they're hitting, you're talking about huge value coming out of the heroes they picked. So that, as well as their gank setup and their team fight's pretty good. Not as good as Complexity's, but I just look at that and I'm like, this No Diggity lineup just looks so good to me.
And their Dire side as well. So Roshan, pretty open for them. But you look at the AoE from Complexity, contesting Roshan is definitely up their alley with a Black Hole and Static Storm behind them.
Yeah, they can gank so well too with Doom and just Dream Coil from Puck. They've got Glimpse if No Diggity ever gets out of position. There's a lot of good things about their lineup, but I have trouble looking at those auras and
Are
not
they
just
gonna
drooling.
find Swindles here? Era. Us off with a crush, and now Syndrome through the Magic Missile. They're trying to line up the arrow from Yapzor, and they've actually right-click Swindles down enough. They might just drop here. First blood goes with No Diggity. Great rotation up onto the high ground. And they kick things off with a bang.
Was he just standing there, I'm guessing? Like,
He
right on the top?
He ran up towards the large camp to maybe check if it's being sentryed or warded up, and
Okay, it walked right into 3, I see.
walked right into them.
I mean, that's tough when they have that many stuns. Like, very difficult to predict that they'll just be there. But I like that they checked the tanky hero they can start the game off well on.
We've seen a lot of offlane Doom recently from China, and you know, Alchemist, Bounty, Doom, all heavily prioritized by Chinese teams, kind of manipulating the economy, gaining gold out of seemingly thin air. And we'll see exactly how well Swindles can do from this offlane role, but Yapzor is already starting things off, rotating himself towards the mid lane, but bottom, Thunderstruck to force KheZu back. What's Yapzor up to?
Well, what he started with was he killed the large camp. So now that Doom can't eat it, so he actually did accomplish a lot in this little bit of time. And this doesn't block, but it's going to spot where Enigma is. So he's trying to steal the big creep if possible, and Z-Freak's trying to block it here. All right, he's going to get it.
Cheeky little devil. He's got his level 2.
Doesn't really limit the Enigma that much because he can still kill the camp pretty easily, but it's mostly just to shut down what Doom can do. Because now there's another big creep that Doom can't eat.
I'm going to go in with the chain stuns again. Magic missile into Crush, and they've slowed him down a lot. Body blocking him up. There's the Fairy Fire as well. Swindles, one more click from Cinderin will secure up that one. And Swindle's having a rough time. Now, a lot of the time we've seen Doomed, you know, maybe have a difficult time in the first couple of minutes, but they go back into the jungle. Not an option for him here. He has to stick it out up on top.
That was just so well done by Era. He was able to stay in front of him while right-clicking. And that's basically because of the first blood. He was able to get boots before the Doom does. And that's normally a position Doom isn't in. So that mistake led to that death, which he would have survived on normally. So pretty unfortunate for Swindles here.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But down the bottom lane, of course, we do have Chessie farming himself away, 11-3. I'll pick up his boots now, and he's been zoning out this KheZu Beastmaster a fair amount. Is there Iron Talon coming out soon for him? Oh, sticking with the gold.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a rough lane here. It's nice to be Drowinger for this reason, because you could basically have the board slow with one of your skill points, so it kind of offsets a lot of that movement speed advantage that Beastmaster gets. Plus, if Beastmaster ever does get out of position, then Disruptor can glimpse him back. So, already level 3 in Disruptor, plus the bonus damage from the aura.
Well,
it's looking great there.
Swindles again, the Crush. They've just got this chain stun down pat. He turns back with that Infernal Blade, but it's pretty good here from no Diggity as they turn and kill him off another time, and 3-0. While the Radius Courier was sniped. Where did that die? Down at bottom lane?
Where snipe it? Did he send a boar over or something?
Oh no, wait, the Radio Courier died up towards the top rune spot. Never mind.
How?
Not entirely sure.
Oh, we'll have to watch the replay on that one, I guess.
Time to rewind.
Yeah. I saw SF mid when that happened, and I didn't see any supports on the map.
Well, where did Yapzor die? Because he was...
Oh, it must have been him then, because he died to Puck, right?
Yeah,
he just respawned really fast because he's a low level is probably what happened. So that's absolutely worth it. If he does a leap for a courier kill, he's only giving Puck, what, 300 gold? And everybody on his team gets 175. Completely worth it.
That's really nice. Given across the boots to Koikva and the courier upgrade now. Flying around, and it will be Iron Talon for the Beastmaster, realizing the bottom lane is no safe place to be at this point. Gonna dip back and farm up in that area. So Shadow Fiend for Koikva, 16-7. He's even with the Puck right now, even with that Drought Aura helping it out. Actually get the last hits in towards this mid lane, but Limp's Puck has been spectacular over the past couple of months. Definitely the big playmaker that Complexity need and require, especially out of this game. Because Z-Freak's rotations, he's level 3.5, floating in a level 4, but Yapzor has almost shut down this Enigma fully.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job here, and he's still looking for the Enigma. Z-Freak is at the bot rune, he'll grab a haste. But this reduction in farming speed that he's hit him with is completely impacting it. Because normally you hit, what, level 6 by like 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes kind of a thing if you're a little slow. Now it's going to be much later than that, which will affect his ability to black hole mid and guarantee a kill on like Shadow Fiend, not to mention many other things.
Usually you have your Soul Ring by like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes as well, and he's sitting here with 2 clarities and 700 gold. You're right, they're going to go in onto the Beastmaster. He's just going to get silenced and nuked down, and this should turn into a tier 1 as well with the Eidolons up. Z-Freak, he's losing them very quickly. The help of Chessie's aura though, this tier 1 should drop.
He still does keep some alive though, and he is behind, but level 3 Enigma is still quite good for ganking. He's just not good for disable, so spawning Eidolons push the tower, they'll take this rapidly, and this will lead into a nice advantage.
Cinder and Hansken is looking for the glimpse back. It's level 2, but might be the Disruptor that's in trouble here. He stands his ground, the glimpse back. There we go. Beastmaster is returned to base, but Hansken is trapped with the arrow. All right, clicks come through from no Diggity and the Fairy Fire. Keeps him alive a little bit longer. The South through, and the Kinetic Field drops as well, but Yapzor, the double again. Chessie, not enough. Taken out of the game. That was a lot of expenditure and a few sneaky little plays.
Yeah. They should have actually just not salved him because they would have lost less gold than they did by killing him. That was actually incredible. That was such a big swing. They got like 200 gold plus their opponents lost like at least 300.
Oh man, where is Swindle's TPing to? Back to Mountain. Arrow not going to land on Limp. Hanskin, this kind of roaming disruptor. We didn't really look at the disruptor too much in the early stages of the game, but it's a hero that likes to be ahead, right? You want to be chasing people, glimpsing them back, getting to level 6 as fast as you can for that static storm.
He has done a great job though. Like he's from very many levels from pulling, and this is basically because Drought can help zone the Beastmaster. A little bit of scanning showing complexity heroes behind mid, which means that Koikfa is going to be scared and may end up shifting over to get jungle farm. Going to the bot rune is slightly confusing, but it's maybe they're anticipating a fight there, and this is why Mirana moved over slightly. So nothing really happening yet. Mirana does have a really fast arcane boots despite her level, and looking for heroes to arrow with the Hawk. They will see Chessie.
Yeah, they had the 4 heroes kind of converge towards bot rune, but Beastmaster still needs that level 6, and he finally hits into it. And in the meantime, Era up to 1300 gold. He's level 6 as well. Looks like a Blink Dagger for him, but we've seen a lot of Armlet Slados recently, just going for like the carry build and tanking yourself up, a lot more early game damage. Or what do you want here from him? Is it initiation or raw damage output?
I would definitely say initiation this game because of a Enigma, Aurora bottom.
Yeah, found Chessie, Drow Ranger. Again, the chain stuns are good for no Diggity. They come in with a Dream Core though. Oh, TP from Syndra and Keizu still silenced up. The glimpse back. Syndra trapped in place, but Limp doesn't have damage to kill anyone off. And Hanskin turned around on with a ball, slowing him slowly, but surely they'll kill him off. And the trade-off. Keizu, nice ult forward. Syndra, he's got another magic missile with a face shift. It's not there. It's not there. Limp arrowed up and taken out. He didn't get himself back to safety. They will lose Syndra in here though. A 2 for 2, but pretty perfect for no Diggity.
Yeah, Sin played that really well. He started the TP. I like how Keizu waited to TP until after they had glimpsed, because obviously killing the support is less good for them. So the glimpse was wasted, and then the Beastmaster could start TPing, and then they realized, hey, we can just kill these guys, and they did. They blew them up really fast.
It comes down to like the minus armor and the auras you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, Wave of Terror here for Syndra is level 3.
That's a lot of minus armor. -5, plus they had the attack speed aura from Beastmaster, and they just cycled through all their spells so well, especially the puck kill. Getting that on top was amazing. Huge plays there from No Diggity.
Era up at top. 2,000 gold now. Blink 200 off, and he should be able to get that. Oh, no, there's not a large camp there for him. There's one hill troll, but he'll pull across and be fine. On Koikva, on the other hand, we used to see a lot of Mac Shadow Fiend, a bit of Yule's, Blink. Aghanims was played, or picked up quite a bit in the qualifiers for SFs when he was played. Last time Koikva played SF, it was more of the kind of standard, sent back, gets the bounty anyway. Thanks for the free rune, lads.
I think that was a huge mistake. They actually could have maybe fought him there. I guess Doom's a little bit low. Yeah, alright, he was going to be alright. But yeah, I think mech is the build, don't you think? Like, the complexity is very good team fight, therefore you put a mech on top of that and you're less likely to lose that team fight.
And you don't have a natural mech carrier on anyone else, really. Like Syndra and, like, maybe Yapzor. Okay, he's got the headdress, so it looks like he will be heading into the mech. But even in the previous SF game, I expected mech from him, but he seems to like the just raw right-clicking damage with a bit of a BKB on top of it.
Yeah, I really think that's the build, especially against the Drow Aura. You're going to take a lot of physical damage from all the heroes, so might as well get as much armor as possible, and Aquila plus mech is going to do that. So there's the blink now on Slaughter. Like we started talking about before, I just think it's worth doing against Doom, you know? If you get Armlet and you get Doomed, you're kind of just giving yourself a kill, or giving them a kill, because you're already going to take Doom damage.
Walk straight into each other. Limp, smoked, with Z-Freak behind him.
They must have seen it, because they're just leaving.
There was no vision there, was there?
Well, they did have the ward semi-close to mid. Maybe that caught it.
Oh, you think? No, I thought you meant Complexity saw No Diggity. But
yeah, I was thinking the other way around.
No Diggity saw Complexity. I think you're right then.
See where they're grouping? They immediately walked to high ground. Now they're sitting next to the Shadow Fiend because they're anticipating him getting ganked from an Observer ward. There's the scan now from the Radiant team that's going to spot up Syndra in. They could kill Synd very easy here.
Yeah, looks like they'll try anyway. Malefice up to level 2. They've got the nukes to kill off Synd.
I don't like the fact that Synd walked there. I think he should have sat behind his tower, because they knew that they smoked, and they didn't set up on the Shadow Fiend.
Perfect placement from Yapzor straight across the river and into Hanskin, so that's smoking to pick off full Complexity. It's traded out very evenly there for No Diggity.
Still a lot of gold was gained to Complexity from the Venge kill, though, more than what they got on the Disruptor. I really think Synd should have sat behind tower, or just TP'd out to get out there.
High up.
is
Where
under
did Limp go
attack.
to?
He orbed northwest as he grabbed it. I didn't see it. I was like, how did he go so
How
far?
did he suddenly jump halfway across the map?
Yeah, that seemed really weird to me. I was like, did his ally glimpse him? That's the only thing that made sense to
Well,
me.
does he have Blink already? Like, he's not
Yeah.
far off, 100 goals away from it, but that was a funny little move. But this is what we were really looking at, and what the panel was talking about. The early rush here for No Diggity. 10 minutes in, that's going to be Aegis for what? You call it for Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, I think so. Especially because he doesn't have mech yet. So Aegis for him, and now they can TP back and easily defend this tier 2. This is a great fight to take.
Even against Dream Coil and Black Hole, they can maybe walk in here. Yet to see a roar from Keizu, but he's got the TP scroll to actually get himself up on the front lines at top lane. They're setting up for this, both teams posturing around it, but
Okay.
Koikva's not moving himself up there.
Yeah, he's actually not getting the mech. It's going to be on Murano.
Yapzor, yeah.
So I guess they don't quite feel ready to go.
Oh, that's a
They're
good
going to spot
sentry.
in.
Cinderin, he walks into death. Oh, he's trying to start this fight anyway. The two-man crush down here. A Dream coiled up, and Cinderin starts down, but they've got Yapzor joining in, and Keizu waiting for that roar. Biding his time, but the Doom onto Koikva will mean that No Diggity have no real way to continue this team fight, and they'll lose the tier 2 for no real gain.
Yeah, they didn't quite all in on that. I think they needed to for that to go well. Great ward vision placed from Complexity, including the sentry, spotted that up. So they definitely had to be a bit more coordinated. I think Koikva had to already be there for that fight to happen, but he hadn't even started his TP yet, I don't believe. Or maybe the tower was already dead. But they needed to be coordinated as they went in. And if they had Aegis on starter, that would have been alright. But losing the starter like that, all for a disruptor, absolutely not worth it.
And money goes the way of Complexity, and they're taking down these towers at a pretty rapid rate. Jesse back in for the Helm of the Dominator here after Aquila treads. And probably expect him just to try and pad out his stats as much as he possibly can. Get that armor, get that strength and agility to deal with auras from No Diggity. But equally, No Diggity look for tier 1s of their own, looking to pressure this map and keep Complexity on their side of the river. Make sure there aren't these little encroachments over to the dire side. Try to spread them out across the map as well. Because you know that Complexity's strength is that big 5-man wombo combo. Limp. Thinking about the solo pick-off onto Koikva there, but of course he does still hold on to Aegis.
They're scared about a lot of No Diggity being behind them. I think they definitely could have broken the Aegis there with puck hold, but you don't want to use it.
Oh, look at that. Observer Ward and Sentry
Jeez.
placed at exactly the same time. Is that Hunt's going to place that one down? Yep. Clever man. And now the smoke up immediately. They de-ward, they smoke, they look for the aggressive play. No Diggity sweep through Radiant jungle, though.
I wonder if they got information from that. If they can make the assumption that they're smoking just because they're all together. It doesn't look like it, because it looks like Air's going to get caught.
Oh, man. He definitely is. Era, he can turn back and amp one up, but he is a lost cause.
Really good ward vision for Complexity right now. If you look at all their observer ward positions, they've got vision everywhere. Dire team has some good ones down, one lane ward top and the one middle, but that third ward would have been really useful. It was a good place to put it down, since Complexity is likely going to rotate between their offlane and the mid a lot.
Complexity really want to start ramping up the pressure here. They've got mech done over on the Doom in a short while. 100 gold or 50 gold away from that one for mech and arcanes, but it's the Vlad pickup from Z-Freak that really interests me.
Oh, Vlad's, okay. Well, it does basically put them a little all in, because now Enigma has put all of his early gold into basically a 5 armor item. It's not a great Enigma item, but it's a great team fight item in the early game. It'll basically offsets exactly what the Shadow Fiend Aura does.
And it gives
That
them
part's
lifesteal as well, back to like the Drow Ranger and that. The
Yeah.
mech from Doom will help them through this as well.
If anything, it makes the Helm of the Dominator for Drow maybe a bit of a mistake. If he gets a lot of stacks out of it, it's worth it, but
Like something like a Yasha or something like that might have been a little bit better.
I'm actually a pretty big advocate of the Ags build on Drow, because I feel like too many Drow Rangers just sacrifice for the good of the team to give them all damage, but it doesn't actually do enough. If you just grab Ags, it makes you farm fast by itself, and eventually it turns you into a real
AoE
carry.
fighter, yeah. Well, at this point, we're looking for both teams really vying for that initiation into these team fights. No Diggity seem to want to dodge the team fights for now, though. With a BKB from Shadow Fiend finally acquired, Koikva can think about walking himself in, and they've got 1 minute left on the Aegis of the Immortals to down tier 1 and maybe push up into tier 2. Complexity are perfectly happy with this, and they might even utilize another smoke here. They're holding on to one. Back in this same position again by the Ancients, and it looks like they will smoke up, knowing there's no observers, no vision for No Diggity around in this area, and tier 1 at top. It looks so juicy. It's an easy target for this dire side, but they don't know what's waiting behind them in the trees.
They can do it now, though. There's BKB on Shadow Fiend. This is kind of why they were waiting to push. They wanted to feel like both lives on Shadow Fiend were going to matter.
Arrow,
looking-
perfect
gets
onto Limp. Can they jump forward and catch him out? The Midnight Portal's down the Doom onto Koipa. This is going to be a little bit of a waste here. He pops the Aegis. It was going to expire in about 40 seconds anyway. Going to try and go in again. Cross forward. Where is Ira? There's the BKB from the SN. Requiem wound up. The Dream Core ultimate plays the Black Horse down. And Koipa's caught. But the damage from Complexity, they need to right it. But then K2, he heals up. The mech is there, but they drop him anyway. I turn back in, but Z-Freak just walks himself out. One Jesse crossed up Ira with a secondary initiation. Syndra dropping low as well. And Limp jumps himself out. It's a 2-for-1 so far, but Enigma very low. One more click in, but he TPs away. And no Diggity. Continue the chase. Ira thinks forward, and he wants the puck, he wants the Doom, he wants anything from this team fight, just added extra value, and Swindles will give them what they require.
Yeah, if they didn't have Aegis there was no way that fight worked, especially because Arrow blinked into the
Wait,
trees.
Hanskin dead as well? No, he showed himself.
He's got the glimpse, here it is.
Comes it back, and Koipa. Oh
Huge.
dear.
Really nicely played by Hanskin to just hide over there in the side jungle, because he knew there would be more chase, so rather than showing himself and attacking, he hides in the trees so he knows he can always glimpse, but only when it's the right moment, and that right there was the right moment. Free kill.
I thought Hanskin was the one in trouble. You know, he showed himself, and there's like 3 heroes around, but Slaughter had already left the scene of the crime.
So really good farm coming out of Koipa this game. That death does set him back a little bit, but he should be scaling just fine in these team fights, because basically both teams are all in on these fights here. Vlad's on Enigma, for example, like BKB first on Shadow Fiend. This basically means like they want to take the fights and they want to be able to win them. That's how they're planning to farm their gold this game. So both teams, they've got to both win team fights, but only one can be victorious.
11-11 at 17 minutes. You've got the Mech and Arcanes on Yapzor and Beastmaster. Okay, so Necro 2 is done if he wants it, but we've seen the precedent set over the past month or so where a lot of players like the Necro 1 and Necro 2 into Blink. They go for that kind of initiation route for the Beastmaster instead.
Yeah, I like that.
If you go for the Drow Ranger, and you like these gap closers to get in onto the Drow Ranger, both Slaughter and Beastmaster kind of offer you that.
Yep, and it's not just the Drow Ranger, it's basically all the heroes on Complexity, really. If you can roar, Puck, kill him, Drow Ranger, kill him, Doom, kill him, any of those heroes, even Enigma, any of those 4 heroes really are going to give you a huge advantage. So by starting the fight off on that way, and it can be either the Slaughter going in or the Beastmaster now. So yeah, I really like this transition build, this Blink afterwards. He can still solo kill weak supports, but he can also team fight much better now.
No Diggity spending their scan over towards the Radiant Ancients, knowing that Complexity have spent a fair amount of time farming across there for the Drow Ranger to keep up those net worth for the Shadow Fiend, who's starting to race ahead.
What do you think he's building here?
Oh my god.
There's 2 things that I think it might be, but I'm hoping it's one of the 2.
I hope it's Aghanims. I really like Aghs on SF.
I looked at the numbers, and when you calculate all of the damage bonuses, I think it increases your ulti by like 70%.
Plus the heal you get back as well is insane.
Yeah, and you get healed. The only downside is then you're fighting around the cooldown of Requiem Souls, but the item does give you HP, which is a lot of what Shadow Fiend buys anyways, and it gives you bonus 20 damage and right click. So it's actually a pretty massive increase in damage once you do all the math. And I think they buffed the AoE of Requiem of Souls. I think it's at level 1. I guess that's kind of irrelevant now, but the skill has been buffed in quite a few ways to make it more consistent, I guess.
And what's the other option, like Dragonlance?
Yeah, I was thinking Dragonlance was my other guess.
It's going for SNY.
Also SNY, yeah. That was the third. That's boring, though. It's still the right choice, but especially because they have so many auras, because it just gives them a lot of base stats, a lot more than Eggs would, which means that he'll synergize more with the damage aura from Venge and stuff like that. Definitely the more boring choice.
It's not the glamorous item, definitely not, but...
It's so much better, though, honestly. Like, just the ability to right-click DPS more so than the Drow, or at least be more competitive there, is really important. You don't really need him to have, like, a super ulti.
How many times are we going to see this? Smoke into smoke. Yapzor's the one that got a tank to there, but the roar in onto Jesse Kazoo. That's the solo static storm. What a perfect arrow. And Yapzor like clear up one. The 2-man cross era finds them Z-Freak. The Black Hole. Where is it? Where's the Enigma ultimate? Not going to throw it out, and they buy back. Bring the Drow Ranger into the game again. Era retreating out. The Frost Arrows will slow him, but no Diggity. They are on full retreat until Santa the Coin. They can't Requiem himself up. Limp jumps himself over to the side to find Era with the Yule Scepter. With Complexity, the arrow again. Jesse, no, that's out attacks it. Jesse's still alive. They'll look for Koipa. The Requiem wound up and swindled on. HP turned on, and Koipa taken out with that orb. Puck will find him. And no Diggity, too big for their boots in that one, but it was a lot of expenditure there from Complexity with that buyback from Drow as well.
Yeah. That went so well for Dignitas at the start, but the buyback from Drow, like you said, just changed everything. They had way too much damage at that point, and the fight was a little bit too spread out. Venge also used Swap just to save the Beastmaster, which worked at first, but the puck committed to the kill. So, and this may just leave Complexity with a Roche now. So they needed to get some good fights, and they've used all of their smokes basically, a lot of early engagements, and if no Diggity can defend this, they're going to be in a great spot.
They still hold on to Black Hole as well, Purge.
Yeah.
Seafreak didn't pop that one out.
With Buckler as well. Arrow's going to be coming in. It's going to miss everybody though.
Threads through in between Roshan and the heroes. Keizu. He has been seen here. Radiant Observer Board gives perfect vision across everyone.
Alright. Nicely done by Complexity there to control that. They'll lose their ward on the high ground most likely, but no Diggity's going to be a little upset about that, but it's not the end of the world. There was the Drow buyback. His overall net worth is good on Drow, but it's not amazing. And in fact, the most surprising one is the puck. He's doing great. 6-1 and 7 on Limp. He's actually been in almost every kill. That's incredible. He's been in 13 of these 14 kills. That's
he has.
actually ridiculous.
Very active early game here from Limp's puck.
Yep.
Looking at the map itself right now, it's pretty dark for both teams. There's one observer ward apiece, one in the Radiant jungle for no Diggity, and of course the one that was placed up above Roshan for Complexity. Well, where do they start to look to go? Because right now, no Diggity, you know, they might think, gotta be a little more timid, gotta sit back and wait for Aegis to go, or do they want to try and actually fight into Complexity when there's even Black Hole still up?
Well, BKB for Slar is a pretty big item, that's for sure, because once he initiates, he needs to make sure he doesn't just kind of die to, like, Kinetic Field, Disrupt Ulti, for example. I mean, I'm sure the SF would be a lot happier having the full S and Y completed, because he'll get, like, an extra 40 movement speed or something like that. But they've got to wait a bit of time to hit those timings, and they have to try not to lose too many towers in the meantime. So I like that they're split pushing in response to this.
Seafreak looks like he's going into the Crimson Guard. Vitality boost is purchased.
I like that. Okay, yeah, that's why I bought Buckler. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Really good item, actually.
Super good against minus armor as well.
Yeah, because it damage blocks before the minus armor is applied, so it actually severely reduces the amount of damage that they do. Pretty cool build.
Poor Slardar and the poor Shadow Fiend. Gotta start ramping up this damage if they can. We've seen a lot of, you know, Crimson Guard and Enigma thanks to Puppy with the whole kind of mech into Crimson Guard and BKB.
You mean the threat of the black hole?
The threat of the black hole build. Yes. I'm gonna run at you and you can't kill me.
Yep. And so then they're gonna be like, well, what do we do now? If we go in, we're gonna get black hole. This sucks. Yapster is playing amazing actually on Mirana right now. He's 4-1 and 7. He's almost got an Aghanim Scepter, which is pretty close to what like most farming Miranas have at this stage, more or less.
Mid Mirana's like, right, phase boot, Aquila, bottle, get my Aghanim Scepter by like 19-20 minutes.
Yeah, and he's gonna have it at like maximum 26 with the mech arcanes on top of that. He's playing amazing. He could actually just transition to a core this game, and it's very likely it'll happen, which is even scary for Complexity. Again, they have all these items that are mostly auras. They don't really have a pipe though, because there's not that much magic damage coming out of no Diggity. And if he just starts hitting with, you know, Ags with the Veil on top of that, he's gonna shred Complexity heroes.
All these Starstorms coming out. Complexity, they are the ones across the river and looking to set the terms of the engagement on this tier 2 tower. As Freak just moves forward, they can take this. There's no real way no Diggity actually push forward and defend. Keizu still farming bottom lane, and this map, it belongs to Complexity right now.
Yeah. They've got really good high ground too. They've frost armor on Doom, so everybody has actually ridiculous armor right now.
Oh god, 18 plus 19 on the Drow just then.
And
but
Enigma, 6 plus 21. Ooh. The arrow gets the Alpha Wolf. That was actually so important.
Instead of the Manta Illusion?
Yeah, they just reduced their pushing damage by like 30%.
Oh, man.
What a huge snipe. I don't know if he did that on purpose. It was either the Drow or the Alpha Wolf, but
it went through the Drow Manta.
Yeah, that was arguably a better pick. So that's actually going to hurt their... So he goes back into the jungle, he grabs the Dark Troll. Not as good. He can set up a disable, but he has less damage. He's still hitting hard, though.
Bruce Campbell's here with the Army of Darkness coming forward with the skeletons. Koikva says, nope, not today. Dark Troll is gone and the Glyph expended. Slow this one down. Complexity will secure the tier 3 and they stick around. They go back. Bottom tier 2. Nice push needs addressing.
No, it looks like they're sticking with it. I mean, the tower's gone. That's the hardest part.
I guess the Glyph as well being popped. You can just walk up with the Enigma and say, come at me. Yeah. You have to be wary about Syndran's level 2 swap, though. He's hit level 11. Start things off. Arrow, Catapult gone. Koikva. Slow down a little bit by Chessie.
Oh, Koikva.
Gust as well. It's dangerous territory walking forward into this Drow Ranger, and you've got the wraparound, though. Era and Kezu both sitting behind and blinking onto Lip. The puck is caught. Arrow gonna fly forward. Swindle tanked it up. Left side storm dropped onto Era as well. But Koikva, there's the Requiem. At the moment, Doctor from Black Hole catches round 2. Era's down and Koikva standing through this one with his BKB out. He's gonna try and battle out through it, but he's taken down. Jesse will secure the kill, and he might have to buy back on this Shadow Fiend because Synderen in no man's land. And no Diggity or glimpse back the Beastmaster as well. They buy back the SF. They need to keep this fight going. But the Doom was held by Swindles. He finally gets it down to the slot on the wreck. Oh, Koikva holding the connect field. A leap out, but Jesse, he's got Agency Immortal still held on to this one, and Era's gone. Drowning to a heal. They can't do it. They can't catch him. They might get limped. Good face shift down. Quick for another raise, but the glimpse back will save Complexity and they'll bail out. One was the only casualty. Swindles. They jump in again, and Lip just keeps on going. The gift that keeps on giving this puck. 6-9, looking for Quick for as well. And no Diggity. They'll lose the Shadow Fiend. Buy back into dieback.
Oh my god, they actually just died one by one. Now look at the net worth. It's completely one-sided here. It looks so good for Diggity, or for no Diggity. I said so much. And it looked so good for them at the start of the fight because they killed the puck right away, but he just bought back Boots of Traveled, and then the fight got hard. And now they're going to get a rack, and that was like buybacks on every hero just about.
So often we see buybacks used defensively to try and, recover fights, but Complexity, that's twice now in this game where they've used it to win a fight, to dominate a fight with a buyback. First on the Drow earlier on, now on the puck. They control this one. First racks, first lane falls 26 minutes in. Oh, Diggity. This is going to be a tough scramble to get back in.
They still can do it. I mean, Mirana's still incredibly farmed, but losing her access early is kind of a big deal.
No Diggity this minus armor strat, right?
Yes.
Z-Freak says, screw you. I've got Crimson Guard, lads, and now another buckler.
Okay. This isn't the worst thing. I mean,
it's got so much armor.
It's very, very efficient. And when you're trying to win games by a certain time limit, and this is a perfect example of that, the Drow strat, then you need to buy as many efficient items as possible. Because if you just don't die in your pushes, you just win the game. Because your opponents have to buy back, and you still kill them. That's literally what's happening. Like, it's a 7 armor item with +2 to all attributes for 800 gold. That's pretty efficient, considering that you can buy a plate mail, which is 10 armor, for 1400. That's almost twice as much, and it gives you pretty close to the same amount of armor. So, obviously, he's going to sell this later, most likely, or he can sell it at Soul Ring and buy a different item, but he's really hard to kill right now.
Or he gets another Crimson Guard.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, why the hell not? I mean, it's a pretty good item.
Yeah, it's probably fine, totally.
Swindles. Speaking of plate mails, he's nearly got his Assault Cuirass done. Mail and chainmail on top of the Greaves. Oh boy, well, Chessie.
AC, I guess.
Chessie Eagle Song. Now, we saw Mushi opt for the blade back on his anti-mage, but I think Butterfly here for Complexity should be the item.
Yeah, that's the counter to all of these auras. You just can't hit. Evasion is a good solution. Kezu's got a gem. He's going to be looking for a hero. I think they do know about where Disruptor is. Yeah, look at that. Oh, he actually backed right before the smoke broke.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's going to break on Swindles instead. This is a hard kill.
Here's a tanky Doom and no Diggity. They give up on it.
He's got +36 armor. I don't think they can kill that guy. There's no way.
Radiant's
Not touch him. Roshan, when do you respawn, big man? We'll see in a couple of seconds. 1 minute and 20 seconds. No Diggity would have loved it to be an instant respawn, but they will not have Lady Luck shining on their side tonight.
I don't even know if they'd feel confident doing that without having a hero kill. Like, they still don't have a BKB on Slardar. He's been getting doomed in fights, and it's clear that he doesn't feel very confident trying to DPS, which maybe he should be more so, especially because he went this armlet build. I mean, you could also say the opposite should be, well, if you're not going to DPS, just get BKB immediately after Blink. But he did opt for the armlet. I think this might be a mistake, especially against the Doombringer, because like we said, if he gets doomed, then Armlet's kind of a bad item to have. If he has BKB, that's fine. He'll still take the damage and be disabled, but he won't be stunned on the way out. You can just get doomed and leave. So I kind of feel like it's a mistake to go the Armlet before BKB this game. I think it would have been much better if he just went straight BKB after Blink.
There's very limited vision here from No Diggity. Not able to see really what Complexity are doing, but it's Complexity that used the scan. They were expecting a smoke through the mid lane and maybe aggressively into the jungle, which, No Diggity did try a good minute or so ago. The SF just continues farming. That's drums for Synderen. Tank up a little bit there and add some more value to his team fight.
And a move speed mostly. It doesn't give you as much agility as it used to, but yeah, a little bit of strength. The movement speed's really the big thing. They're having some trouble getting kited in this game, and this is a case where I actually really like Drum is on supports because it's mostly the aura and the int, which really applies to Venge, especially with his recent int nerf. So he can make all of his allies run and attack so much faster. And again, auras, it's the aura strat.
Just add more in.
Why not?
What are they missing actually? So they don't have an AC or a Shivers Guard or anything like that. They actually don't have a Vlad's.
Yeah, Vlad's is definitely something they could use. I don't think it's not that big of a deal that they're missing it. I think they just need better team fight, I guess. Is there an item for that?
Get an Axe on Venge, just magic it out
yeah,
of thin
real,
air.
that's real expensive. He was like, oh, luxury item, 1800 gold, sick. There's no way he can afford 4K. I think it's just got kind of hard. Maybe Quickfoot should have showed up to that top team fight. Couple team fights should have gone a little bit better for them. They do smoke up here.
Again, it's just going to be two Rams butting heads. Complexity are also smoked up towards the mid, and they're scouting out with the Santa Banisher. They sent us into the rush bit earlier on. They know Roshan's alive, and they know that no Diggity are probably somewhere in the area because they're not. Yeah. No one's farming top, no one's farming mid, no one's pushing anywhere. Everyone's off the map right now, and both teams are just scratching their head going, well, where are they? We don't want to get jumped on. We don't want to get initiated on.
They're both saying, okay, they're prepped for the Roche defense, therefore we will go where they're waiting, and both teams did that, so therefore they've actually swapped sides. Now this is technically worse for no Diggity. They're going to spot though.
Well, they're low ground.
Pot of ult, and they have sentry right on that spot.
Has We'll try and see them coming through. No Diggity. Again, the long way around.
The wraparound.
But they're wrapping on themselves. They're going through their own jungle.
Is that so bad? I mean, it's better. I mean, they don't want to run uphill. Like, Complexity has the high ground. We all know what happens. There's no way you can win when they have the high ground. It's literally impossible. So they had to go all the way around.
Dodge as much as you can, and this, the long route means that Complexity take the short route into the Roshan pits, and no Diggity cannot contest this. And that's Aegis and Cheese. 32 minutes in, the third Roshan falls. What do we get? Chessie with Aegis and Limp with the Cheese. He's got his Aghanim Scepter done as well. And buybacks. Oh, Shadow Fiend will have his in a little bit when it comes off cooldown. 5 seconds. Apart from that, we've got Era and Yapzor both have theirs with the Slardar and the Mirana. I think they're going to be needed here for this high ground push in because Complexity have their eyes set on tier 3 bottom.
That's the goal, man. Passing the Cheese to Doom. Puck's going to have his Ags. He actually has to go all the way back to base for this, but he's got a boot to travel. Courier apparently died.
Oh,
poor little Courier.
With a Tome of Knowledge and war on it.
Now that is wasted. Man, Drow hits really hard right now, and she's giving a lot of damage as well. 78 damage to all of her ranged allies. That's ridiculous.
Manta Illusions and the Aegis as well.
Okay, is he actually making another Crimson Guard?
Is he? He's got,
It looks a whole lot like a second Crimson Guard. Don't think he should. You're losing a lot of value. I could honestly justify maybe not hard. If they had less minus armor, I would be like, I'm so into this hard, but we'll see what he gets. May just be saying, it's maybe Rod of Atos.
Who's the player that goes like 3 vitally boosted?
That's Febby.
Febby, of course, on MVP.
I think he's gonna go Rod of Atos here. I really like it against SF. Slardar, really good. Just slow him down, prevent him from
just keep kiting
you. Exactly. Good item picking this point, and a lot of mana as well. So they're definitely gonna commit to the high ground. They're quite a ways ahead. I think they could win if they drew this out a little bit, but it's a lot safer just to commit. Wait till, or try to fight them before Shadow Fiend gets any really big items, basically.
They've plateaued a little bit in their lead. 8k, it's been that for a while now. And experience, same story, about 7,500. Manta.
Oh, the arrow hits.
It's the real Drow. He doesn't get out of that one, but the Urn, ticking back up to full HP in a tier 2 bit here. No Diggity. They want to defend, they've got to do it soon. Getting into this fight sharpish.
They look for the roar, basically. A level 2 swap. There's the Invis.
MLS.
They have a sentry set up, but I don't know if they can see swindles or not. They actually do. They could do the swap now.
Or onto Chessie. I guess the Aegis is something you don't really want to go for. I think about the Requiem. There's the Yapzor jump forward and Casey Roll swindles Requiem from the high ground, but let's get Master shredded under the damage of the black hole. There's the Epic Esports caught. He's dead. Has to buy like Melville Syndrome drops, and slowly but surely Complexity dismantle no Diggity. Koikra is trapped and a good face shift down from Limp. Keep him safe from the arrow. At this point, what does no Diggity have left to give? Of course, there are no ultimates really here from Complexity, but it doesn't matter. The glimpse from Koikra will send him back. Further initiation tools from coL to they jump in, so they'll move up towards top, tier 3, mega creeps. As Diggity left to really try and clean up the scraps and push out these lanes.
No ultimates, was so difficult to fight this. I mean, I guess nobody in Complexity does either. Maybe they can get a arrow. Starstorm helps a lot. It's a good start.
Oh, enough though, with Aegis still up on Chessie and Limp to just start the cheese. And he's going to use up.
He might get him for free though.
Start is there, coil dropping low, Chessie is going to pop.
he's not dying.
God, there's the damage block. He finally goes to the Requiem and the buyback, and coil returns into the game. But no Diggity. 5 versus 5 here, that great crush in from Era, but the damage is just lacking. No Diggity will armor themselves back up to full HP, but Koik for the buyback into the Frost Arrows, and Chessie looks for Keiju instead. They need one more barracks here. It's a good game. No Diggity tap out.
They did it, man. This is a super well executed draw strat. Like, they just played every team fight so efficiently. Every item they bought was efficient. They didn't say, oh, maybe if we don't go all in, maybe we'll just go semi all in. No, they went completely all in with every item purchase. As much item efficiency as they could. They didn't aim for the late game. They didn't aim for the farming patterns. They just said, we're going to close this one out. And it all basically came down to a couple team fights that No Diggity needed to win better, and they weren't able to do so. And I just think they didn't quite coordinate in the fights that they needed to as well